Welcome to the Power Play with CJ. So I'm going to focus in on the Toronto Maple Leafs re-signing Tyler Bozak and signing David Clarkson. Bozak's deal is reportedly $21 million over 5 years for a $4.25 million cap hit, which really isn't the worst contract in the world. And Clarkson's is 7 years, over $5 million a year. So you're looking at 7 years, $36 million. Not the most advisable deals considering they just bought out Grabowski for whatever reason. I just think why do that if you're going to sign these guys? I mean, they're not bad players by any means. They're top six forwards, but for the money you just doled out, I mean, really? $35 million for Clarkson was 5 goals in 44 career playoff games? Really? I mean, I like Clarkson, plays hard, physical, power forward, but for that kind of money, for the next 7 years, and like I said, this is a team that, was almost knocked off the eventual Eastern Conference champions. Are they a better team now than they were then? Yeah, but I mean, not for what you're paying. Why overpay for, average players? I'm not knocking Clarkson or Bozak for that matter. I'm just saying that they're both overpaid. And then, when you're going to have salary cap constraints coming up, when, you get guys like Kadri and Gardner that we have for new contracts eventually, that cap space is going to be eaten up by these two guys. And, they're both, like I said, good players, both undrafted free agents that scratched and clawed their way into the NHL. But you can't just be giving out contracts like this and expect, and Toronto fans aren't stupid. They're passionate, but they're by no means stupid. Like I'm saying, Jesus, and then the Bernier deal, gave us some pretty good assets for a guy to address a position that really didn't need to address to give up that kind of assets. And, I think they're kind of having a bonkers offseason, which is kind of funny to watch, but the fans deserve better than that. They had their first playoff appearance in almost 10 years this year, and then you go ahead, you make some kind of boneheaded moves. I mean, what does that say to the fans? It's really good to see the ownership spending money, but they're the wealthiest franchise in the NHL. They should be spending money. But, I mean, you're overspending. I hate to use this word and make it sound negative saying it, but you're overspending for mediocrity. I mean, that's really what it is. You're not getting the high-end free agents. Horton didn't want to go there. Horton didn't want to play in Boston because it was too pressure-filled. I'm sure if Toronto was roughly the same. Well, Toronto is, tighter, tougher to play in. But, you're not going out there. You're not signing Getzlaf or Corey Perry or a guy like that. You're signing, guys that are, career second-liners, first-line plus money. You're going to have $10 million a year invested in Bozak and Clarkson. Probably just a little bit under, but, he signed, I mean, I know Getzlaf and all those guys re-signed, but, I mean, Jesus, make a deal for one of those guys or something. Get a legitimate sniper, not what you got here. You got really talented young players in Kadri and obviously Kessel, Gardner, guys like that, but I mean, Jesus, these guys will help, but they're bit pieces on championship teams of what guys like Bozak and Clarkson are. They're not worth the money they got paid, and, it's going to be tough. It's really going to lead to salary cap held on the line for Toronto, and, I'm not knocking either player. I'm just saying, take the best deal you can, but ownership's got to be smarter than that. This is why we just had a lockout, because they were spending money that they, shouldn't have been. They're putting money places it shouldn't have been going, and this is what you get. But anyway, we'll see what happens. That's this episode of the Power Play with CJ on the Leafs signing Bozak and Clarkson. Stay tuned for episodes throughout the offseason and beyond. Later, guys.